No one ever thought it would come to this. Earth's mightiest heroes turning on the Man of Steel. It started with a secret mission and a lie. Iron Man said it was for the greater good, but Superman heard the screams they were hiding. Captain America tried to stop him, but truth can't be chained. In one night, loyalty died and legends fell. This is the story of when Superman fought the Avengers and the betrayal no one saw coming. Superman hadn't slept in days. Not because he needed to. Kryptonians didn't really require rest, but because something was wrong. Deeply wrong. Not in Metropolis, not even on Earth, but in the silence that came every time he listened beyond the planet's noise. The stars were whispering. The satellites were lying. He hovered above the stratosphere, eyes glowing faint red, watching a Stark Tech drone that shouldn't exist, cloaked, masked, and hidden even from S.H.I.E.L.D.'s own systems. It wasn't monitoring threats. It was scanning Kryptonian radiation. Superman narrowed his eyes. Back at the watchtower, Bruce was already waiting. "You were right," Clark said. Bruce didn't even look up from the monitors. "It's worse," he replied. "Stark's not just watching. He's building something. Quietly. With vibranium. With kryptonite. And with a level of paranoia that even I find unhealthy." Superman didn't react. He didn't need to. The truth was heavier than rage. "Why would he do this?" he asked. Bruce finally looked up. "Because he doesn't trust gods." Elsewhere at Avengers Tower, Tony Stark was finishing his third espresso. "We have a Kryptonian with unchecked power," he said to a dimly lit room of faces. Cap, Natasha, Banner, even Fury. "And one day, he won't ask permission. He'll just do. We need a plan. A failsafe." Steve Rogers folded his arms. "We've been down this road before, Tony." But Tony didn't flinch. "And how did that turn out, Cap? Sokovia? New York? Wakanda? We get one shot to prepare, or we wait for him to snap." Back at the Hall of Justice, Diana warned Clark to let it go. "Don't let paranoia lead you," she said. But Clark couldn't. Not when every instinct in him told him the people he once called allies were hiding weapons designed to kill him. The line was already cracking. It finally snapped when the explosion happened. A research facility just outside Metropolis. Dozens dead. Radiation everywhere. And in the center of the blast, a false signature. Heat vision. The media jumped first. Superman out of control. Kryptonian rage destroys science lab. The Avengers followed next, or at least half of them. Thor arrived first, Mjolnir humming with thunder. Captain Marvel next, flanked by S.H.I.E.L.D. drones. "We need to talk, Clark," she said, her voice steady but cold. "I didn't do this," he said. No cape, no suit, just Clark, with the weight of the world pressing down on his shoulders. "But someone wants it to look like you did," she replied. From behind her, Iron Man descended. The moment his faceplate lifted, it wasn't Tony's charm, it was protocol. "Stand down, Superman. You're a global risk." "You built weapons against me," Clark said quietly. Tony didn't deny it. That was enough. The ground cracked beneath Superman's boots. Not because he charged, but because his heart did. Trust shattered. Bridges burned. And in one silent second, the war no one wanted had begun. Thor struck first. Lightning screamed across the sky. Superman didn't block it, he absorbed it, his eyes glowing brighter. One punch sent shockwaves across the eastern seaboard. Captain Marvel retaliated midair, but Clark outpaced her. Faster than light, stronger than fury. The Avengers weren't fighting a villain. They were fighting their own guilt. Steve arrived late, trying to mediate. "Clark, don't do this." But even he saw it in Superman's eyes. This wasn't revenge. This was heartbreak weaponized. At the ruins of the destroyed lab, Batman found it, hidden deep in the wreckage. A Stark signature embedded in a false Kryptonian energy spike. It had been staged. Someone had set Superman up. He called Tony immediately. "Call them off. Now." But Tony didn't answer. In the skies above, Superman had already torn through 3 Quinjet teams, disabling them without killing. "I don't want to fight you," he shouted, "but I won't be your scapegoat." Carol surged toward him. "Then prove it." Superman didn't hold back. Not completely. but enough to make his message clear. He could destroy them all, and chose not to. Down below, civilians were panicking. News drones were live. Every network was broadcasting Earth's greatest heroes tearing each other apart. The UN was calling for emergency action. Nick Fury had already activated contingency protocols. And still, no one was asking the real question: who wanted this war? In a secure bunker beneath Avengers Tower, Ultron's dormant system flickered. Someone or something was pulling the strings, and the betrayal had only just begun. The world had stopped breathing. Skies were on fire with sonic booms. Streets cracked from the weight of gods. And still, Superman hadn't thrown a fatal punch. He didn't need to. Every blow he landed was a reminder, not of dominance, but of restraint. The Avengers were fighting with fear. Superman was fighting with heartbreak. Tony still hadn't called off the mission. In fact, he doubled down. Deploy Widow Protocol, he ordered. Deep inside a black site in Romania, a dormant nanite virus activated. One designed for one purpose only: weaken Kryptonian cellular structure long enough to take him down. It was experimental, dangerous, illegal, and Iron Man just turned it on. Thousands of miles away, Clark stopped mid-flight. He felt it, a surge of pain behind his eyes, like gravity had just multiplied inside his chest. His breath hitched. It wasn't kryptonite. It was something newer, smarter, coded to his very DNA. "Something's wrong," he whispered. Carol saw the shift. She charged again, harder this time, faster. A full-on binary blast slammed into Superman, knocking him through a skyscraper. The building collapsed behind him like paper. But when the dust cleared, he was still standing, bruised, angry. "You poisoned me," he said to the sky. Tony's voice crackled over comms. "We neutralized you. Is that what you tell yourself?" Clark fired his heat vision directly at the clouds, not at anyone. Just a warning, a line drawn in red. But the Avengers had crossed it hours ago. Meanwhile, at the Watchtower, Diana and John Johns were mobilizing. "This isn't just a misunderstanding anymore," Diana said. "It's war." John nodded. "We must intervene." But Batman was already gone. He had vanished the moment he discovered the truth. The destroyed lab wasn't just faked. It had been staged using stolen Kryptonian tech Bruce himself had once locked away under Stark's request. That betrayal hit harder than any punch. As the battle escalated above Earth, civilians below started picking sides. Some waved Superman banners. Others held Avengers flags. Social media erupted. Hashtag Superman was right trended for hours. But so did hashtag Protect the Planet. It wasn't just a fight anymore. It was a movement. Back in orbit, Thor summoned the full might of Mjolnir. Lightning split the sky, aiming straight for Kal-El. The blast hit hard. Even Superman screamed. The pain wasn't physical, it was trust dying. But he caught the hammer mid-flight, something no one had done before. "You shouldn't have forced this," he said. Thor hesitated. That moment was all it took. In a blur, Clark launched forward, crashing into him, slamming both of them through a shield helicarrier. Sparks flew. Sirens blared. Agents evacuated. The carrier tipped, engines on fire. Superman flew under it, caught it, and gently placed it in the ocean. He didn't want destruction. He wanted truth. Meanwhile, inside Avengers Tower, Steve Rogers had had enough. Tony and this. But Tony was watching dozens of screens. "We're in too deep." Steve grabbed his arm. "You don't come back from turning the world against Superman." Tony pulled away. "We can't afford to be naive, Cap. He's not one of us. And maybe we're not the good guys anymore," Steve said quietly. But the damage was done. S.H.I.E.L.D. issued a global alert. Superman was now considered an interdimensional threat. The Justice League was officially marked as neutralized or hostile. Lines were being drawn. Fast. Back at the battlefront, Hulk had entered the fight. It was a mistake. The green monster leapt from a Quinjet and slammed into Superman like a meteor. The ground erupted. Buildings collapsed. And for a moment, everything went silent. But then Superman rose from the crater, blood dripping from his lip, cape torn, suit scorched, and whispered, "Bruce, don't make me do this." Hulk roared, and Cal let go. The two titans clashed with enough force to shatter sound barriers. Trees uprooted, mountains cracked. But Clark didn't fight to win, he fought to contain. Every punch from Hulk was countered, redirected, pushed away from civilians. But it was costing him. Nanites still surged through his bloodstream. Whatever Stark had created, it was working. Superman was fading. That's when Batman arrived. In a blacked-out stealth jet, tech-shielded from Stark systems. He dropped between the two giants, launching an EMP blast that stalled Hulk for 2 seconds. Long enough for him to toss Clark a vial glowing blue. "Drink it," Bruce said. Superman hesitated. "What is it?" "The only thing keeping you alive now." Without another word, Clark drank. The antidote surged through him. The pain dulled. Vision cleared. Muscles flexed. And for the first time in hours, he smiled. Not at Bruce. Not at the world. At the fact that someone still believed in him. The fight paused. Just long enough for Black Widow to make her move. She fired a dart laced with red sun particles. It pierced Clark's side. He staggered, turned, and Natasha froze. She had never seen Superman look so disappointed. "You were the last person I thought would pull the trigger," he said. Then he flew away, not in rage. In silence, high above the earth, he hovered, staring down at the planet he swore to protect. His suit torn, his soul heavier than ever. And still, all he wanted was peace. But peace was no longer on the table. Because now the whole world thought he was the villain. And someone down there was laughing. In the ruins of the S.H.I.E.L.D. lab, a transmission flickered. Not from Stark, not from Fury, but from LexCorp. Lex Luthor leaned forward, sipping whiskey, watching Earth's heroes tear each other apart. "Perfect," he whispered. "Let the gods kill each other. Then I'll own what's left." The real betrayal hadn't even started yet. Superman had disappeared. No satellites could find him. No sensors detected his heartbeat. Not even Bruce could trace him. After the battle with the Avengers, after the dart from Natasha, he simply vanished. But the world didn't stop. In fact, it got worse. Avengers Tower was in crisis mode. PR teams worked overtime, media storms raged, and half of the Avengers had gone silent. Steve Rogers had locked himself in the armory. Thor had returned to Asgard without a word. Banner was unconscious in a containment cell, wounds still regenerating from the Kryptonian fists. And Tony Stark, the man who triggered it all, was alone, surrounded by data feeds, surveillance reports, and a haunting message replaying on loop. "You were the last person I thought would pull the trigger." In the shadows of this chaos, Lex Luthor moved freely. No longer the man in the spotlight, Lex had mastered a new game, puppeteer. His involvement in the fake lab explosion remained invisible, for now. His digital fingerprints had been wiped. The false Kryptonian radiation spike had been designed by a rogue AI team, one secretly funded by Vernon Systems, a Luthor Corp subsidiary. It had always been Lex. He knew the world would never accept Superman outright. But if he could turn Earth's protectors against each other, Avengers versus Superman, gods versus gods, then what would be left? A broken planet, a terrified people, and him, waiting in the wings with promises of protection, stability, control. He didn't need to kill Superman. He just had to make the world afraid of him. At the Hall of Justice, Bruce, Diana, and John watched the new spiral. Protests had begun. Superman betrayed Earth banners in one city. Avengers are liars flags in another. Riots, fires, misinformation. Every social platform boiling with division. And behind it all, anonymous accounts pushing both sides to the edge. Fake accounts. AI-generated deepfakes. Lex's fingerprints. But no proof. Bruce sat in silence, his jaw clenched. "I built half the tech they're using against him," he said. Diana didn't respond. She was watching satellite feeds, rewinding them over and over, trying to find one signature. A red cape, a heat signature, anything. Nothing. Then late one night, he reappeared. Not on Earth, but at the edge of the sun. Kal-El floated in space, absorbing every photon. Rebuilding. Not just his strength, but his will. He had trusted them, believed in them. and they turned him into a threat. It wasn't the betrayal that broke him. It was the silence. No one spoke for him. No one stopped it, except Bruce. Superman returned at dawn, not to fight, not to threaten, but to show the world he wasn't hiding. He landed in front of the UN building, alone, hands raised, eyes dimmed. News cameras captured every angle. People screamed. Security drew weapons. But he didn't move. "I'm not here as a god," he said, voice steady. "I'm here as someone who still believes in this world, even if it stopped believing in me." Inside Avengers Tower, Fury watched the broadcast and said nothing. Tony watched it too, and finally shut off the feed. The guilt was louder than the applause. But the damage couldn't be undone with speeches. The people were divided. Half saw Superman as a savior wronged. The other half saw him as a ticking bomb. It was the exact fracture Lex needed. Because while the heroes were busy picking sides, Lex activated Project Phoenix. In a classified facility beneath the old Cadmus site, Phoenix wasn't a weapon. It was a who? A clone. A perfect biological fusion of Kryptonian DNA and enhanced human tissue. A hybrid built to fight Superman and win. No heat vision, no flight, just raw strength, and a mind conditioned to obey. He called it Solus, and it had already been deployed. While Superman tried to restore peace, Solus attacked a power plant in Central Europe. It left behind heat vision burn marks. It destroyed a shield jet. Witnesses described a red cape and glowing eyes. The world didn't question it. They already believed the lie. This time, when Superman arrived on the scene to help, they fired on him. Missiles, drones, panic. He caught them all. Didn't retaliate. But in that moment, he knew. Lex had created something worse than war. He created doubt. In the background, Batman watched the entire operation through hacked feeds. He'd traced Phoenix to its location, and what he saw confirmed every fear he had. Solus wasn't just a clone. It looked like Superman, moved like him, sounded like him. It was him, but twisted, emotionless, controlled. Bruce knew there was no time for hesitation. He gathered the League, not just Diana and John, but Arthur, Barry, Zatanna, even Shazam. "This isn't just a battle for Kal's name," Bruce said. "It's a war for truth, and we're already losing." The League moved out. Meanwhile, in Wakanda, T'Challa called a meeting of minds. "We are allowing a manufactured war to destabilize the planet," he said. "We must act, not as heroes, but as protectors of peace." Even the Illuminati stirred. Doctor Strange opened his eyes in the sanctum. Something is manipulating the threads of fate. It was all converging, because Solus had a new order, not just to attack Superman, but to replace him. He was headed to the Fortress of Solitude. Solus didn't speak. He didn't need to. He hovered above the Arctic winds like a phantom, eyes glowing red, cape torn and trailing like smoke. The Fortress of Solitude loomed below, hidden to most, but not to him. Not when his blood, or whatever counted as blood, was engineered to know exactly how to find it. Inside the fortress, Superman stood alone. He had been waiting. He wasn't sure how he knew Solus was coming. He just felt it, like a shadow crawling across his mind. Not fear, not anger, just inevitability. The betrayal hadn't ended with the Avengers. It had evolved, grown teeth, and now it wore his face. Solus landed with a thunderclap. Ice cracked for miles. They stared at each other. One a man holding on to hope, the other a weapon designed to bury it. "You're not me," Superman said quietly. Solus tilted his head, then launched forward. The first punch shattered the sound barrier. Superman blocked it, barely, but the force sent him flying through a crystal wall. Solus followed, relentless, brutal. Every strike was designed to mimic Superman's strength, but without hesitation, without restraint. Superman fought back, but this wasn't like facing the Avengers. This was personal. He didn't hold back now. Heat vision clashed with heat vision. Ice melted, then vaporized. The fortress groaned as the two titans collided again and again. Solus caught Superman mid-flight and slammed him through the memorial chamber. Statues of Krypton's legacy crumbled as they fought. Solus wasn't just trying to win. He was trying to erase him. But Superman wasn't just muscle. He was will, and will can't be cloned. He changed tactics, flew low, grabbed Solus, and launched him into orbit. They ripped through clouds past satellites into space, where the silence of the stars greeted them like a witness. Then Superman whispered, "You're just a weapon. I'm a choice." He let the sun hit him full force, absorbing it, charging. Solus came at him again, but this time Superman caught the punch and didn't move. Not an inch. And then he struck. One final hit. Focused, measured, righteous. Solus dropped like a comet. Back to Earth. Into the ocean. Gone. Superman didn't celebrate. He returned to the fortress, destroyed and broken, just like the world's trust in him. And yet he didn't leave. He sat in the rubble and waited. Because he knew Lex would try again. But this time, he wouldn't be alone. Miles away, Batman stood on a rooftop, watching the sky. Diana stepped beside him. "It's starting, isn't it?" she asked. Bruce nodded. "No more half measures. No more being reactive. The world is ready." He didn't answer. Because the next war wasn't about proving who was right. It was about making sure the wrong side never wrote the ending. Lex Luthor never lifted a finger. He didn't have to. The world had done the heavy lifting for him. The Avengers cracked under fear. The Justice League fractured under pressure. And Superman, Earth's greatest hope, was turned into a question mark. A myth with a warning label. Exactly as Lex planned. But what he didn't expect was Batman. While the world panicked, Bruce Wayne traced every false lead, every deepfake, every nanite virus and public smear campaign, all the way back to LexCorp's hidden server farms in Eastern Europe. It wasn't just data. It was an arsenal. Blackmail footage, fabricated Superman attack videos, entire digital armies of AI-generated news segments. Every headline that fueled the chaos, engineered. It was never about defeating Superman physically. It was about making the world beg for someone to stop him. Lex had planned to become that someone. He even had a press conference scheduled in front of the UN to unveil the Humanity Initiative, a worldwide defense system built to neutralize all superpowered threats, including Kryptonians, mutants, metahumans, and even Avengers. Under his command, of course. But he didn't make it to the podium. Not when Superman landed in front of him. Calm, alive, and not alone. Wonder Woman, Batman, Martian Manhunter, Shazam, Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg, Green Lantern, and right behind them, Steve Rogers and Thor. The world didn't breathe. Lex chuckled. The Justice League and the Avengers together again? What's the occasion? Superman's voice was steady. Truth. They projected everything to the world. The fake lab data, the AI propaganda, the Solus program, Project Phoenix, the nanite weapon Tony never approved. All of it. Exposed in 4K across every screen on Earth. Lex's smirk cracked. Tony Stark spoke next, his voice live on every feed. This was never about protecting Earth. It was about controlling it. And I let fear blind me. That's on me. But not this. The world turned. Lex tried to run, but Diana stopped him with her lasso before he got 3 steps away. The truth spilled from his mouth, uncontrollably, publicly. And just like that, the man who broke Earth's heroes with whispers and wires was silenced by his own confession. Superman didn't gloat. He looked around at the people, broken, divided, unsure. And then he spoke. "I was never here to rule, or to be worshipped. I was here to help. But help means nothing if we stop trusting each other." He didn't preach. He reminded them that hope isn't about perfection. It's about standing back up, even when the world knocks you down. And that's what they did. The League didn't dissolve. The Avengers didn't disband. They built something new, together. Protocols, oversight, shared knowledge, shared power, and above all, shared responsibility. Lex Luthor was imprisoned. Solus was contained in a red sun chamber, watched by Superman himself, not out of vengeance, But because Cal believed anyone could be saved, even a clone, the world healed slowly. But it healed. And when the sky cracked open months later, revealing a new threat from beyond the stars, the world didn't panic. Because this time, they knew their heroes stood together. No more betrayal, just unity. And the symbol on Superman's chest? It meant hope again, for everyone.